Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I'm the Lazy Chair Bear, and today I'll be reviewing
This is your moment, Roderick. Rise to
Nightswarm is a roguelike, kind of. I don't think there's a proper genre for these kinds of games, so I'll just call it a Vampire Survivors like for now. It's similar to games like Vampire Survivors, Megabonk, and Death Must Die. These kind of games have extremely simple controls. Usually, these kind of games just use the arrow keys to move around, and the enter key to make choices, and maybe use the mouse to aim. In Nightswarm, you play as Roderick, the youngest vampire prince that just woke up from his slumber. As he wakes up, he's informed by Master Goldrath that it's time to revamp the castle, that it's been in decay for too long. He tells Roderick that as the only vampire with the old blood, it is his duty to maintain his castle and the ancient castle until the vampire lord returns. Before he starts his duty, he needs to gather up the servants. The first being Lord Hellsong. At first, he won't want to help Roderick, saying that he's too weak, that he must first prove himself by retrieving his hat that was taken by a ferocious werewolf in the forest. And so, Roderick begins his journey to claim the main castle and repair his. As far as graphical style goes, this game 100% looks like a vampire game. From the old Victorian style castles to the blood fountains found throughout the castle, they've really captured the vampire aesthetic really well. The artwork for the toxins all look amazing. They're all pale and white like vampires should be, except for Igor. I think he's still a human. And everything is voice acted as well, which is really surprising for these games. Most of the voices sound really good, except for two, Lord Goldrath and Selim the Castle Builder. Lord Goldrath's voice sounds too gravelly. It really grates on my nerves listening to him. The good part is that you only have to listen to him in the beginning of the game. The other one, Selim the Builder, he sounds too happy-go-lucky. He doesn't really fit in with every other voice. His voice is a sharp contrast to everyone else's, making him feel out of place. Another thing I wanted to mention are the character models. The character models look like game board pieces. They're little statues that don't move, they just jump up and down. At first glance, it was kind of off-putting, but after a while, I got used to it. The cool thing they did with the player character model is that when you change equipment, like boots, mantles, staffs, and crowns, they all change the character model with it. Most other games never change the character model after you equip something, so seeing that this game made changes to the character model as you change your equipment, it really made it stand out. Another thing I didn't like about the character models is that some of their board pieces didn't look anything like their toxin art counterparts.
Unbelievable.
Corvus, for example, doesn't look anything like her artwork. When I first met her in the woods, I thought somebody else was talking, so I started looking around the screen trying to find her. Only after she appeared in the castle did I come to realize that her character model looked nothing like the artwork in the toxins. The good thing is that only Corvus suffers from this problem. Every other character during their toxins looks exactly like their pieces. And now onto the combat animations. Well, there really isn't any. As I said before, the character models are just game board pieces, meaning they just jump around as you move. I don't think it's a big deal, because typically in these kind of games, you end up not being able to see much later into the game. The weapon animations tend to stack on top of each other, and by the end of it, you can't see who or what you're mowing down. Overall, I'll give this game a 3.5 stars in graphical style. In Nightswarm, after you beat the tutorial, you'll start off by choosing between 3 different locations, and later in the game, a 4th one. The starting 3 locations are the forest, the desert, and the tundra. Each biome has 3 separate locations that get progressively harder as you make your way through them. After you beat a stage, you'll also unlock Nightmare and Hell mode in that stage. In Nightmare mode, you'll be able to get rare drops, and in Hell mode, you'll be able to get legendary drops. There are 4 different item rarities, starting with common, to uncommon, to rare, and finally to legendary. In the forest, you can get blueprints for staffs. In the desert, you can get mantle blueprints. And in the tundra, you can get boot blueprints. Later on, when you finally beat the boss in the castle, you can get crown blueprints. After you've chosen your destination, you'll end up on a game board. At first, you'll only get one path, but as you proceed, it'll branch out into 3 different paths, each one randomly generated. Once you finally choose a room and enter it, you'll be presented with 3 different weapons to choose from. After you choose a weapon, you can finally start fighting monsters. The first room you enter is almost always a companion room. In companion rooms, there's a large summoning circle that when filled with blood, it lets you summon one other companion. Each companion will grant you a unique boost whenever their skill activates. From boosting your damage to increasing your movement speed, each companion will do something unique to them. As you fight your way through the rooms, you'll notice that some of the rooms have skulls or multiple skulls on top of them. These skulls represent mini-bosses. 1 skull for 1 mini-boss, and 3 skulls for 2 mini-bosses. Yeah, it's kind of weird, I know. Each room lasts around 3 minutes, and if there's a mini-boss in them, then it'll spawn in the final minute. But if there's 2 mini-bosses, then each will spawn 1 minute apart. One at 2 minutes and the other at the final 1 minute. When you kill the bosses, they'll drop a lot of gold and experience. With the gold, you'll be able to activate totem poles. Totem poles are scattered throughout the room. A red totem pole will increase the level of one of your weapons. The green totem pole will either increase your health or give you a passive. A yellow totem pole will give you a blueprint, and a purple totem pole will summon a boss. So make sure you have enough time to fight it if you decide to summon it. Also, if you come across totem poles with golden wind surrounding them, these totem poles will guarantee you get a rare or higher upgrade. Bosses also have a chance to drop blueprints and artifacts. Artifacts have random effects, from boosting your damage when you're standing still to giving you an extra item whenever you open a chest. Artifacts are incredibly powerful, so it's always good to get as many as you can. As you kill your way through hordes of enemies, you'll end up with a lot of experience. With the experience, you'll be able to level up your weapons and passives, and some weapons can be fused together. When you pick a weapon at the bottom of the selection screen, you'll be able to see what it can be fused with. If question marks appear at the bottom, that means you haven't unlocked the weapon required for the fusion. Once 2 fusible weapons reach level 10, then they fuse together. Usually, fused weapons are around 3 times stronger than their unfused counterparts, and fused weapons can also be upgraded to level 10, but I don't think they can be fused together another time, but maybe the developers might add that in the future. You can also only carry 4 weapons at a time. Whenever you fuse a weapon, it'll open up 1 slot, meaning that at max, you can have 3 fused weapons and a single unfused weapon in your inventory. But most of the time, by the time you reach the boss stage, you'll only have 2 fused weapons and 2 regular weapons. The bosses in Nightswarm are all unique. Each section of each biome has its own unique boss. In the first section of the forest biome, the boss is a giant corrupted tree named Morath. The tree hates vampires for corrupting the land, and so it also captured one. Morath will summon monsters, spawn bulbs that bloom into spiky bushes, shoot roots and thorns at you, vomit purple sludge, and occasionally slam its body into the ground. It's a solid first boss fight, and it's pretty hectic, but not punishingly so. Each boss has a deep pool of abilities they can do, making each encounter with them pretty interesting. After you beat the boss, you'll head back to the castle with the vampire you saved, Corvus. Across the hall from your room, you'll find her. She will help you equip any rune you find in your exploration, and also upgrade them if you have blood crystals. In your expeditions, you'll also run into Arachne. Arachne will be in the forest looking for Shadow Silk. Once you help him, you'll find him in the castle. He's basically a blacksmith, and with enough Shadow Silk, you'll be able to have him make items for you, using the blueprints you collected. After you bring Lord Hellsong's hat back to him, he'll also train you. With him, you'll be able to upgrade your strength, health, and utility abilities. Later on, Igor will appear and he'll give you some quests to increase your reputation. With reputation, you'll be able to go back to Lord Goldrath and unlock new companions, and he'll also be able to upgrade your old companions or unlock their passive skills. Eventually, Selim the Builder will arrive and he'll let you rebuild parts of your castle. You'll need a lot of bricks to help him renovate the castle, and whenever you do renovate parts of the castle, it'll also increase your health, speed, or damage. If you bring him boss trophies, then he'll add small trophy cases in your room, which give you small passive buffs. With everything being so interconnected, it makes for a great gameplay experience. 5 out of 5 stars in gameplay. It's pretty surprising to see an in-depth story here. In other games similar to this one, there's usually just an overarching story with no real plot points. For example, in Vampire Survivors, you're just trying to find vampires to kill them, and that's it. They never explain why, that's just what you're doing.
Hello.
In this game, you play as Roderick. After you've woken up and forced to take up the mantle as Lord by Master Goldrath, you make your way to the old castle, and you'll end up running into Isles, an old vampire lord. He's the one that caused the Night Swarm and has taken over the old castle. All you can do is reach the old castle, beat him up, and kick him out. After you first meet Isles, he'll randomly spawn in and put a curse upon you. From shooting fireballs at you to summoning ghosts that chase after you, he'll be a constant threat throughout the journey. Honestly, it's a pretty cool concept having the final boss constantly throwing obstacles in your way. 4 out of 5 stars in story. You can play this game over and over again and still enjoy yourself. Each time you beat a level, you can always jump back in and try it out in Nightmare or Hell mode. Having many different weapons and fusions also contribute to how much you'll end up playing. Overall, a 5 out of 5 stars in replayability. I didn't run into any glitches as I played. There's also no microtransactions in the game, that's always good. Night Swarm costs $9.99 USD, but right now it has a 15% discount, making it $8.49 on Steam. With the amount of production value this game has, I could easily see it being priced around 15 to 20 USD. And seeing that it's only half that is really surprising. 5 out of 5 stars in value. Alright, it's time to do the final calculations. 3.5 stars in graphical style, 5 in gameplay, 4 in story, 5 in replayability, and 5 in value. And the final score is Night Swarm is by far the best in its genre of games that I've played, or at least the most improved upon. From the voice acting, to the story, to even the timer in the rooms, they've improved in almost every aspect. The only thing they didn't improve upon was the character animations. If they would have added some animations to the characters and maybe improved the story a little bit here and there, changed up the actors' voices for some of them, then I could easily see this game be a 5-star game. Honestly, I highly recommend this game if you're interested in roguelikes at all. Try it out, I'm sure you'll have a great time. And that's my review of Night Swarm. Like and subscribe to get more insight on the newest indie games, leave your comments down below, and as always, thank you for watching. And now, it's time for me to sit back, relax, eat some honey, and pass out.